great marijuana. That is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen.
Marijuana is referred to as Mary Jane, pot, weed, or tea.
That Michoacan, man, Acapulco Gold, man. I even smoke that tight stick.
We're smoking reefer.
The realest thing smoking on the internet. The Podheads Web Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4:20 on a Wednesday. You're in the cipher with the Podheads. I'm your commander-in-chief, Frank the Tank, and as always, I'm hanging with my very best buds, JB Perez.
Yeah, that's right. What's up? It's JB Perez in the cipher with the Podheads at the Podheads Web Show on all those social media things. Guys, welcome back to another episode. We're going to do a little different, a little quicker, but it's still going to be freaking awesome. C-Money, what's up, man?
Yo, everybody. It's C-Money, making C-Money from the Podheads Web Show. At Making C-Money on Twitter and Instagram for all your food, cat, and marijuana needs. It's going to be a good one. As always, we always bring you guys a good show, so glad to be here. What's up?
That's right, folks. You heard him. And this is Frank the Tank, at Frank the Tank on all social media sites. I always forget to put that in there. But make sure you guys are following us on all social media at the Podheads Web Show. Guys, big news. We are going to be streaming very soon. Matter of fact, this episode and every episode moving forward and all of our old episodes will be available all over iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Store. So make sure you look for the Podheads Web Show on all your podcast sites. Anyway, guys, it's going to be an awesome show. We're going to talk the storming of Area 51. If you haven't heard about this, guys, you have to stay tuned. Absolutely nuts. More than 500,000 people have pledged to storm Area 51. We'll get into that later, though. Before we get this going, gentlemen, shall we do this as we always do?
Yes, we shall. And I got my pen again. Still doing the wedding cake here. It just works, man. Convenient and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm doing a dab. I got the whole little, my little rig set up here. We talked about that before. It is nice to do a little dab to kind of get you going. The pen doesn't help, but just straight with my torch and some wax, absolutely love it. And if I'm trying to get baked quick without having to do a lot of work, rolling up, breaking up, but packing a bowl, whatever, wax is for me.
Dabbity dab dab.
Dab Marino.
Yes.
That's crazy though, man. I thought about the last time we got together, and Frank the Tank made a good point. He said the pens get you where you want to be fast, but they don't sustain it. And I've been kind of like more keen as I used the pen the last couple of days, and he's right. When I got the flower over at the dispensary, that kept me good, dude, for an hour, 2 hours, and I've been smoking my entire life, so my tolerance is high. These pens, they'll make me feel a more intense euphoria quicker, but yeah, 30 minutes, I'm right back to hitting the pen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, C-Money. Same here. That's why I've gone through like 3 cartridges in like 2 weeks. It's wild. The convenience is crazy. Like I said earlier, guys, I said that this show is going to be a little different, a little faster. Like Frank the Tank said, we're going to get on all these platforms, and we got to kind of compress our show now to an hour. That's just the way this business works. So we're going to move right into one of your favorite segments and my favorite segment. It's the Week in Weed.
Wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you're smoking on, the news that matter to you, the news you want. It's the Week in Weed.
Yeah, that's right. The Week in Weed. This is going to be a little faster and a little less, what am I trying to say here? Less specific about the Week in Weed news, just because now my time is a little short, but it's still going to be the most important weed marijuana related news that I could find in the last week. So check it out, guys. The first headline is coming out of here, the United States. Did you know, something I didn't know, did you know that marijuana research, the actual marijuana flower that is used for medical research in America, is only provided by the U.S. government? I didn't know that. this is your headline, guys. The U.S. government is going to grow its largest crop of marijuana since its inception, since it's been doing medical marijuana, in Mississippi at the University of Mississippi for research, guys. And that's your headline. So the researchers are asking for marijuana of all sorts. Okay, they know that the public is growing different strands, different kinds of marijuana. Well, the researchers want this type of bud, but the law requires the government is the one that provides it to them. So the government acquiesced and said they're going to go ahead and grow them 4,500 pounds this coming year at the University of Mississippi, which holds the only growing contract for producing marijuana. So the only place medical marijuana grown for research in the United States, it's the University of Mississippi.
I want to make a snow angel in 4,000 pounds and just
and like just straight keef, just like a few inches thick field of keef, make a snow angel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go. That was your first headline, guys. It's a good one. I mean, you can see that the researchers are requesting, more, and the U.S. government is providing. So you're seeing, a lot of the weekend weed news, some of it's bad, some of it is good. Like this back and forth with the federal government, it's kind of annoying. Well, here you go. The second headline comes from that push and pull of the federal government. The lawmakers just last week got together again and the government to discuss marijuana legalization. July 10th, they all got together and just discussed it. I actually watched some of it. Did you know that they record everything? The government records all these committee meetings and stuff, and you can actually go and watch them. A lot of people don't. I actually watched a little bit of this. Kind of boring, not a lot of talking, but when they finally started talking, it was a very positive conversation. Even Florida was saying, yeah, but let's do it the way we do it, incrementally, while other states were like, no, it makes no sense to go forward. But it wasn't a back and forth argument. Both sides, Republican, Democrat. It was a positive, meeting, guys. So there you go. That's your second headline. The feds, again, are still meeting. And marijuana seems to be a topic that it can bring both sides together, guys.
Yeah, well, there's money to be made. Politicians are going to come flocking. So at least there's some kind of discourse happening in Washington in regards to federal legalization. I'm all in for that.
Speaking of money, Frank the Tank, the next headline comes out of the Indy 500, those F1 freaking super fast. Well, the Indy 500, which happens in Indianapolis, USA, the actual Indy 500, one of their main sponsors is an actual CBD company. So This is the first sports, group that has allowed a marijuana-related company to become a sponsor. So There you go, guys. Another precedent.
Yeah, I can see the writing on the wall. I mean, imagine football teams with, kind buds, or basketball. That's pretty cool, yeah.
Here's a good one, guys. The next headline, and this is probably not a secret, and I actually think we've talked about this, but the report is out there. I just read. Here's the headline, and here's the title of the report. Marijuana gives men and women more sexual desire and better orgasm. Dun, dun, dun.
Jackpot. Nice.
Jackpot. But is it? I mean, we knew that. I think a lot of the smokers and the people who smoke marijuana knew that it is a positive in the bedroom. I mean, I think we've talked about that in detail. So just wanted to share that you got research is there. The data is there. People who smoke are sharing this type of information, and positive. Thumbs up.
I don't think I've ever had bad high sex. What about you guys?
Right? Never. Usually when you're smoking and into the sex, it's all positive already. You know what I mean? So your mind is already working. Like you're not having a bad experience if you're smoking already.
You're enjoying
if it was terrible, I was thinking about the munchy food after. So if the sex was terrible, I was going, oh my God, I can't wait to have that brownie. Yeah.
But anyways, let's keep it moving because I like the way I'm doing this rapid fire weed news. Next one, the next headline's coming out of Vermont. Vermont was actually the first state to legalize recreational through government means. Okay, the very first one. That's That's a dig at New Jersey, too, by the way. They had a chance to legalize it through the government. They failed on that one, C-Money. That one's for you, brother. But Vermont, at the capital city, they have found 30 marijuana plants in their flower beds. So the flower beds at the Capitol have all beautiful flowers, and the cops were like, is that marijuana plant? They found over 30 cannabis plants just randomly placed in their flower bed. I just thought that was just hilariously great. Everybody was smiling about it. Everybody was having a good time. Nothing bad. We don't know if it was CBD. We don't know if it was hemp, or we don't know if it was straight up THC marijuana. But they pulled it. They weren't going to test it. They weren't going to do an investigation. But, hey, have fun. It's legal. Put it in the flower bed, guys. All right. So I got one more. The last one here in the Week in Weed. I hope you like this rapid style I'm bringing to you. The headline is this, guys. Jay-Z, one of the best rappers of all time, just announced his partnership with a California-based cannabis company called Caliva, I believe it's the word, Caliva. A multi-year partnership that basically puts him at the not CEO level, but, getting paid. He becomes a partner. So now he's the face of that company. And he's a billionaire. We're talking about Jay-Z is now the first hip-hop billionaire of all time. So his influence and his money goes far. And Jay-Z is now another, famous, important person getting into the marijuana business, guys. What do you think about that?
Well, for a while, they even had Martha Stewart about to sign something with CBD. Imagine all the demographic that reaches. It's great, man. I mean, I hear that having your own brand of weed or CBD or something is like the new having your own sneaker type of thing. So a lot of rappers in the industry are starting to do their own weed thing. I mean, we know Snoop was doing it all along, but Mike Tyson just opened or is opening Tyson Ranch or Weed Resort that the Podheads need to get out to.
So you're saying exactly. So you're seeing a lot of these, influencers, right? People who influence people's lives jumping on board because, as Frank the Tank said, there's money to be made in this business. So I'm looking at my notes here, guys, and Jay-Z is going to be the chief brand strategist for Caliva, the company. That is his job. I don't know if he's going to be the spokesman for this company, but definitely is going to be his responsibility to push this brand of marijuana. Just like Simone said, just like everybody else, getting in on the marijuana money train. Yeah, guys. And that's the Week in Weed, guys. A little different, but just as informative, just as important for those who care about marijuana, CBD, the 420 community. Thank you for sticking with us. Hashtag the Week in Weed. Hashtag we're the Podheads. At the Podheads web shows. We're going to come back. We're going to talk Area 51 and aliens and all these craziness going on. 500,000 people, I heard. It's so wild, guys. But we'll be right back. It's the Podheads.
All right, welcome back, folks. Thanks for sticking with us. It's your Commander-in-Chief, Frank the Tank. It's the Podheads. Make sure you look for us all over social media and download our podcast. Soon, we're going to have old episodes available. We're going to have unedited episodes available for those of you who don't want the squeaky clean version. So make sure that you guys become a part of our cipher. Anyway, we wanted to talk. There's some crazy things going on around the internet. And just when you think you've seen it all, Facebook surprises us again. So, an event page called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop Us All, has garnered more than 600,000 recruits. These people are saying that apparently on September 20th, they're all going to head towards Area 51. And I don't know, storm the gates. They said they can't make 600,000 people disappear. 600,000 people, they can't stop us all.
They have 600,000 bullets, first of all.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Here.
No, that's so. First of all, okay, that's so ridiculous that the fact they actually got 600,000 people to sign something common is a feat in itself. Like, why can't we do that stuff for positive or other and more important things? That's number one. But number two, this has to be a result of that Bob Lazar things. You know, me and C Money, we talked about that off air. But Joe Rogan bringing this Bob Lazar Area 51 guy on his show. Have you guys know what I'm talking about? If you haven't, Joe Rogan brought a guy named Bob Lazar. And Bob Lazar is in his words, a former worker in the Area 51 site, not necessarily in it, but around it. And he said he touched alien hardware,
technology,
software,
spacecraft.
Technology. Yeah, that's what he said, and he said it. Joe Rogan brought him on. Joe Rogan believes him, and then this kind of stuff happens. This is the only reason I think anybody would want to go storm Area 51, trying to find out anything they can.
Netflix just did a documentary about him. I can't remember the name. What was the name of the Netflix documentary?
It was literally like Bob Lazar in Area 51. It's
called. I think it's Lazar. I'm not sure if it's Lazar or Lazar. But Bob Lazar.
Area 51 and Flying Saucers.
There you go. Area 51 and Flying Saucers. And it's right there on Netflix, people. If you're interested, if you're into this kind of stuff, check it out. But they did a documentary where Bob Lazar claims to have worked in an area called S4. In an area called S4, which is about 40 miles south of Area 51. And in this area, Bob Lazar says he encountered space-age technology. He's been inside UFOs, alien UFOs, and he has, I guess, the most extreme claim. It has worked on an anti-gravity, antimatter machine, some kind of device which actually they believe is what fuels space travel. He's made a lot of crazy claims. Some people call him nuts. Some people say, oh, my God, there's got to be truth to this. I mean, we are in the generation where we believe everything that's basically online. Do you guys think that there's some validity to these claims?
Yeah, I've watched the documentary on Netflix, and without going into detail, let's just say he is very believable. Like, his story has been the same from the very beginning. His life has not gotten any better. He hasn't made any money. In fact, his life has gotten worse. Yet he continues to claim what he has claimed. The dude almost went to jail for, prostitution. Legit. He got arrested for prostitution. The judge was like, who are you? He said, I'm this person and this happened. And the judge, they couldn't figure it out. The government was trying to erase him. I'm getting off on a tangent because you guys don't understand, because you got to watch the documentary. But my point is, I believe the guy.
So there's evidence that
600,000 people seem to believe this guy as well.
Okay, 600,000 out of the millions that have seen it, or at least 600,000 that want to take action on it. But let's say this. In the documentary, irrefutably, the government has taken steps to either assassinate him, but silence him. That's a good word, right? Silence him. Now, whether it's because of the Bob Lazar thing or the interview, because he did the interview, like C Money said, with Joe Rogan, 600,000 people on Facebook. Here's my thoughts, right? Even if a fraction of those people actually get up and do it, let's say, 10 to 20%. Let's say 20, 30,000 people show up, right? Let's say 50,000 people show up. They can't. The government is not going to kill 51,000 people, and they can't make 51,000 people just disappear the way they say CIA does. Okay, but I would make the argument that they're not going to have much luck getting into that base, whether it's 50,000 or 100,000. Most of them are going to end up arrested or hurt in some kind of way. It would be interesting. I want to see. I hope they do go through with it.
No, absolutely. It's Joe Rogan. Okay, Joe Rogan is, and by the way, Joe Rogan is taking no sides. He's like, I didn't tell them to do it. This is not my fault. He is making sure he is not liable for anyone.
Money.
Yeah, he don't want the government to make his ass disappear.
Exactly. He is saying, I didn't do anything. But Joe Rogan has a comedy sense to him, an attraction to him. So a lot of people, I don't know the right words, but what I'm getting at, 600 people to sign Storm 51 is like a joke to me. Like, I would sign it as a joke. I was like, hell yeah, let's storm Area 51. And I would never, ever, ever get on a plane, go to Nevada, and try to storm a active military base.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. And I think most people wouldn't. So that's why I'd say 10 people might show up, a little bit of the crazies, and the government, to your point, Frank, they're not going to kill anybody. But I've seen technology where they do like sonar and like heat waves, or they'll just build a wall. Who the hell knows, right?
Yeah.
But no, they're not getting it.
It's going to be people. I mean, I can just picture the news from the chopper. It's just going to be a bunch of military guys standing there with assault rifles and protesters just standing there with signs. No one's going to willingly just, and that's just what it's going to be. But what Rogan also said was, what is cool, though, is people are actually becoming keen to things now. They're listening. There's maybe becoming less sheeple in the world. We use the term sheeple a lot, and for people who are listening are like, what the hell did he just say? Sheep and people combined. They're the ones that are told what to do all the time. They're the ones that are just glued to late night Jimmy Fallon every night, and it's those types of people who are brainwashed, I guess. But it is interesting. Maybe it kind of shows the government like, okay, people kind of know that we're not all the innocent angels that we played out to be all these years. Because look what happened with cannabis. Remember that our parents and that whole generation were told cannabis was an evil drug. So people are starting to realize, wow, all these conspiracies that were thought to be conspiracies are starting to play out and be true. So maybe this guy was onto something. But yeah, people got to understand this was 30 years ago. Bob Lazar worked there. He worked at a base miles south of Area 51, and the base he also mentioned where he saw this stuff was in the side of a mountain. So good luck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a social media thing. It really is a social media thing.
My thing is September 20th, right? They announced the date. I got to imagine National Guard or somebody's going to be out there, right? They're going to have plans. There's going to be a plan for this. You know what I mean? And guess what? Damn near every military institution, or probably every military institution, has an SOP for getting stormed.
Overrun,
you know what I mean? So I just hope that no idiots go out there with any weapons. I feel like if the minute they see a weapon, you guys are done.
It's a wrap.
So be safe. I hope that these idiots, nobody gets hurt. But I do hope a mass of people do show up, because I'm hoping that maybe something comes out of this. Do you guys think that with this new generation of woke people, these documentaries, these acts, these events like this, do you guys think that anything is going to come out of it? Do you think the U.S. government will reveal any new information? Do you think any good is going to come out of things like this?
I don't think it's going to be something extravagant, but it's like maybe a chip off the block where the government will say, all right, it's not so easy to hide things anymore with social media and public figures like Joe Rogan and things like that, but we're still going to hide things from you. But again, just kind of proving my point again, a lot of conspiracies the government told you are panning out to not be true. Just following that pattern, it does kind of want to send you down the rabbit hole. That's all I'm saying, right?
Especially if you smoke this stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
But to answer your question, Frank, I don't think the government will ever just, here you go, you caught us. What it means, these types of events just build on each other, and their influence or their control would be less and less every day that goes forward in future generations. So no, I'm with you. I want these events, not because something might come out of it physically, but just kind of like the psychology and the social aspect of it for the future. They're going to have less and less control.
Last question before we get to break. Do you guys believe that aliens exist and that in Area 51 there's evidence of that?
Man. Yes, aliens exist. Do I believe? Yes, I have to say yes. I have to say yes. And in a military base, there is alien evidence. Is it Area 51? I have no idea. I'll say yes, but there is evidence in a military base.
I'm on the same page. I don't necessarily think it's in a specific location like Area 51 where everything is.
Right.
But things like the ancient pyramids, things like the ancient civilizations, things like how there are trillions of planets and stars and everything out there. Statistically, it doesn't make sense that we're alone. It's just not possible. It goes against the laws of nature in a number sense for that to be true. But I think that I think there are other civilizations out there, and we're just not there yet. We're part of this evolution because they're starting to see that the primates are now entering the Stone Age, starting to use tools and spears and things like that. So what does that tell you? Maybe we're just not at that alien point yet, but in 1,000 years, we will be. So we'll see.
Planet of the Apes all over again. Jeez.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, Steve Money. And one last thing I want to say about Bob Lazar and why I believe him so much is he said one thing, is like, this isn't about fame, this isn't about fortune, this is about the science in me, the scientists. Like, I felt compelled that scientists and doctors are spending their careers studying this type of physics and technology while the government has it, trying to re-engineer it for the government's purpose. That was his reasoning, and I think that is the most purest reason of it all for anybody to whistleblow something like this. So I'm gonna give a big shout out to Bob Lazar, and I'll take it to break from here, guys. We're the Podheads web show. We talk about it all: marijuana, aliens, conspiracies, Air 51, all that kind of stuff. Shout out to you if you're listening. Make sure you comment, like us, hit us up, slide in our DM. We'll see what happens. We'll be back with C Money's High, guys. Podheads.
Hey buds, this is Making C Money from the Podheads web show. Welcome to my segment called Burns My High. This is a segment where I vent to my fellow peers, listeners, and friends about what irritated me since the last time we came together. Usually everyday life dealing with everyday people. I'm a Sicilian from New Jersey and I've just been told that I'm funny when I rant and rave. So this is what bothered me since the last time I got together with you guys.
Yes, it's another edition of Burns My High with yours truly, C Money. And if you're new to this whole Podheads thing, this is a segment where I just kind of vent to what bothered me since the last time we all got together, because I'm good at it. The Sicilian from New Jersey. It is what it is. So let's just jump right into it. I don't know if anyone has been noticing this thing. I'm a foodie at heart. I love to cook, all that stuff. Everyone knows that. So I follow Food Network a lot. They have a Christmas in July thing going on, and it just rotted me to my core. I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but when the hell did this thing start? I don't know if Christmas in July has been a thing or if Food Network even invented it, but it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. They're literally making like Christmas tree cakes, and it caught my eye because my eyes are seeing something that doesn't pertain to what's going on in the world, and my brain, it was like a haywire went on inside my head. I don't know, like, do you guys ever see, Christmas tree shop and things like that, where you're just kind of like, why? Even Disney World has an all year round Christmas
Christmas tree shop is all year round, right? It's a market. I mean, I know little old ladies who love Christmas year round. You know what I mean? So there's always it's a niche. It's always a market. Stop being a bah humbug, bro.
I'm being a bum humbug. I don't know if it's come. No, you live in Massachusetts, so you should be there with me. I like the 20 degrees when it's appropriate, but I don't want to be reminded of the 20 degrees when it's 90 outside by seeing a Christmas tree.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to have a Christmas store all around. I do think there should be more Halloween stores year round.
So that makes no
Halloween
sense.
Well, because
awesome.
there's multiple occasions where you have to dress up. How many times have you wanted to go to a theme party and you couldn't find a costume?
I dress up every night, bro.
I'd like an all year round Halloween store.
I think Halloween is one of the cooler non-traditional holidays. It really is. It allows you to act for one night and be whoever you want to be, depending on where you go. Obviously, people aren't that into it in every spot. But I did it in Orlando, and it was cool going around downtown Orlando with thousands of other people dressed up and actually being a part. I remember I went as Scorpion from Mortal Kombat once, and so many people took pictures. It was great. It was awesome. You're the bum humbug then. I think Halloween's cooler than Christmas. Something else that burned my high, guys. Movie tickets. I don't know if y'all have been to the movies recently, but my family went as a group because we probably haven't done that in 20 years, and we're all a bunch of Disney people. So we went and saw the Toy Story. It was awesome. It was heartfelt, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to tell you the details. I'm sure you already know it now. But it was over $60 for 4 of us. just for the movies, and we didn't get any snacks or ridiculous soda because then it would probably have been $100. But you guys have kids. Have you been to the movies recently? What the hell? I haven't been in years.
No less than $100. If I want popcorn and drinks with my family, okay, it costs us over $100 to go to see a movie. It's ridiculous, bro. Movies used to be the cheap thing to do. Oh, I'm kind of broke. Let's just go catch a movie real quick. Matinee.
Right.
No, now with 4 kids, 4 or 5, 3 kids, and popcorn and all that stuff. Nah, bro. I go buy the candies at Walmart, the $1 box candy. They got the movie theater candy at Walmart for $1 anyway. Everybody grab that, stuff that in your pocket, and let's go.
Yeah. Or you showbox even, go to Dollar Tree and get the candy. Then the movie was free. You're in the comfort of your own home, and it's a big FU to these movie companies. That's crazy, man.
We don't condone piracy here on the Podheads.
Absolutely not, guys. It's wrong. You shouldn't do it. Drugs are bad too. Don't do drugs. Just smoke weed. Can we say that? I don't know if we could say that. How about this? You guys, we're all in our 30s now. We're all full-grown adults, as you could say, I guess. Do you still know people that are still together and wasting time with one another, and yet your friend and this isn't anyone particular in my life, I'm not trying to say that. I was in public, and these people were clearly engaged or something at a restaurant, and I'm just listening to them talk to each other, and I was like, Jesus, like, horrible, just bickering at each other, constantly arguing the whole time. I'm like, all right, clearly these two just didn't get the signs. And when you're in high school, or even when you're 18 in your 20s, it's okay. You can still mess up, but they were easily around my age in their 30s. You guys still have people in your lives. I don't want you to call anyone out, but what do you? I'm just, again, I want to ask you guys, because you have the kids, so I would assume you're going to teach your kids the same things that you were taught, because you guys have been doing it right by me anyway in terms of life. So what would you guys say to someone like that if they're in their 30s, they're kind of set in their ways, but it's like, look, you don't want to go down, because my parents even are sometimes an example. You don't want to go down 30 more years, bro.
One thing I know about me is that when I turned 30, I was able to be real with myself. So I would tell them that you're over 30. If you can't be real with yourself, then no one's going to be able to help you.
Crazy.
That's a good point. You have to be honest. You have to be able to be honest with yourself about your reality. What is your reality? If you're a woman and you are in love with a man who is constantly cheating on you, and you piss and moan and fight and call the family and all this stuff every time you catch him, but then you stay with him every time. This is the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th time. Sweetheart, why don't you just accept the fact that you're in an open relationship? Pretty much. You understand? You know what I mean? Either leave him, either have some standards or stand up for yourself and leave him, or accept the fact that you're not going to leave him and be happy, be satisfied with your situation. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's logic. Be real about your situation. I think, C-Money, to answer your question, because I don't want to steal your shine here, I think too many people do stay together for the wrong reasons. But know this, I've always been a person to say, if you're not happy, then you should leave. You should find happiness. You get this one life. And what is the point of this one life if you waste it being unhappy? Just remember, though, that there are consequences for even the good decisions that you make, even the positive moves that you make. So be prepared to deal with those consequences. I got out of relationships that I felt were toxic at the time with my kids' mothers. 15, 16 years later, and up until 18, you got it. I'm sharing my damn income with these women still. You know what I mean? Child support's a bitch. So I'm just saying there are consequences, even when you feel like you're doing the right thing. So be ready for that. C-Money, my bad.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. I agree. There are people, even strangers, like I said, this just occurred to me just sitting behind a couple strangers in a restaurant and me just burning my high once again because I'm baked trying to enjoy my meal and I hear, like, dude, come on, writing's right here on the wall. And sometimes I want to say it to them, but a lot of people can't handle the truth, and Lord knows what that'll end up into, and you're just trying to help, so it's not worth it. Stop burning my high, people. Get a divorce, get separated, enjoy your life. Going along with money again, Dairy Queen. Dude, I haven't been to Dairy Queen probably in another 5 years. Movies and Dairy Queen, but, again, family thing. It's been years and years since we all did that, so whatever. Dairy Queen. It was $18 for 3 people. I was
just ice cream?
Just ice cream.
Yeah,
we didn't get That's a lot. Like, we didn't get a large blizzard with all this crazy, like,
3 cones.
3 cones of ice cream. Like,
There's an episode of Rick and Morty where they give Jerry and Beth, where Rick gives Jerry and Beth $500 to go to Cold Stone. And later on in the episode, they're eating their Cold Stone. They're like, what do you want to do with our remaining $20?
Wow.
You know what it is just ice cream and Oreos chopped up on a cold slab. They're like, all right, that's $45.
5-year-olds can make that for you.
But it's crazy, man. When does it stop? I mean, like Frank the Tank said, you used to just go get an ice cream, go to the movies, maybe go to a ball game because you couldn't afford to do something extravagant. Nowadays, what does a ball game cost for 5 people? You know what I mean? It's sad. It really is sad.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely is sad. Even if you're sitting in the bleachers, bro. $25 a pop?
I mean, I agree with you. You're sitting in the bleachers for $20-$30 a pop. I mean, what about the average family? What about the single dad with his kid who's living paycheck to paycheck and just wants to take his kid to the ball game? But if he does, they may not eat one day out of the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. This one really bothered me. I'm a foodie, and it dawned on me listening to a podcast. I think it was Rogan's. I don't know, but he had someone who made bread. It was a comedian, actually, that started making bread. And he made a really good point. And this actually forced me to go to the grocery store after I listened to it. I kid you not. And people listening to this, do this. Bread requires, and you guys have heard me say this, 3 or 4 ingredients max. Fresh, real bread, right?
Yeah, 3.
Go to the grocery store next time and look at the ingredients on the fresh bread, quote unquote, at the store. There's usually over 20 or 30 ingredients in that bread. 20 or 30.
Yep. Most of them are preservatives, chemicals to preserve the length of bread so they don't go moldy. But I hear you. I think it's flour, yeast, and water.
And water, maybe salt.
Salt, I think it's the 4th one you were thinking. Yep.
That's it.
You know what this reminded me? I don't know why I thought. You know who Khalees is? Khalees, my milkshake brings other boys to the yard.
Nas's ex-wife.
Well, she apparently gave up all that life and bought a farm out in Bubba Hell, who knows where, but a really big, sustainable farm. Like, she gave all that love to be a farmer.
Nice.
I thought that
I was wondering
wonderful.
what happened to her.
Yep, she's a farmer now.
Thanks for that.
And her
Cool.
milkshake bring all the boys to my farm.
Now her
then they have my
milkshake
corn
brings all
and
the
the cows.
chickens to the yard and the cows. and
I mean, I'm down for fresh eggs and bread and milk.
I would totally, bro. Totally, yeah. That's my dream one day, to own a farm.
I've heard you guys say that too. I don't know if I can do the farm life. I'll cook the food that you farm for you, but I don't want to farm it.
I want to be that diesel-ass, old, like, 80-year-old, freaking veiny, like,
I'm gonna
sunburnt
be
leather
in the
skin.
motorized freaking cotton picker and corn picker. I'm gonna be chilling in my $1 million machine doing everything automatic. That's me farming, dog.
JB will have the tractor that has the heated seats, navigation for his own field.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be like
Yes,
Rocky
they have
with the
GPS
damn
in them.
horse.
That's
They
so
have
crazy.
GPS.
GPS on
Yeah,
a
they do.
lawnmower.
It's a real thing.
That's crazy. Get lost in the
Jesus.
fields and stuff.
But yeah, guys, that's all we have for this edition of Burns My High. Stay smart, stay financially smart, stay food smart. Read what the hell you're putting inside your bodies. We're going to be right back with one of my other favorite segments, Higher Learning. We'll be right back, guys.
The Podheads Web Show presents Pioneers in Pot.
Alexander Dumas. Known as a brilliant writer, author of The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo, Alexander Dumas was less known for being an avid weed smoker. It is said that Alexander Dumas created an organization where its members would meet to sample different cannabis strands. Epic novels and frequent ciphers with his buds. Alexander Dumas sounds like one of the Podheads.
Hey buds, it is time yet again for another segment of Sea Munchies, where I bring to you all the delicious things that I've come across in my munchie journey. I have an obsession with potatoes and french fries. Not really sure why, but it's one of my favorite sides to go with many foods, especially summer, the grilling season. French fries are all about summer. So this is what I use for my favorite rub. So you can cook the fries any way you want. This is for when they're actually done and ready to be seasoned. All I do, guys, I lightly coat the fries in butter, celery salt, fresh cracked black pepper. Yes, there is a difference between fresh and not. There is a taste difference. Come on now. Paprika, you could either use smoked or non. Garlic powder, onion powder, fresh chopped parsley, and a few tiny pinches of sugar. Yes, that's right, you heard sugar. Trust me on this one, guys. It is so delicious, and I actually pop the fries back into whatever heating source you use just to kind of crisp them up again. The butter's going to make them a little wet, and to bake that flavor into those fries. I promise you, it is so delicious. Let me know what you guys do with french fries. The sky is the limit. I know people that put Old Bay seasoning on them, truffle oil. I mean, it's unbelievable. So delicious. At Make and See Money on Instagram and Twitter. Let me know what you guys make, cook, taste. I want to know it all, everything food related. Thanks for joining me, guys. Quick french fries. This is Make and See Money. I'm out.
All right, you're back in the cipher with the Podheads. Hashtag Weed Wednesdays. Make sure you're checking us out on WJHM 102 Jams. Shout out to all those guys there for making this happen. Pierre, you're the man. Guys, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. And the replays on Thursdays, I believe at noon. Make sure you're checking out the Podheads. Go on our social media. Look for us, the Podheads Web Show, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I believe we're getting a Tumblr on its way. And we're going to be all over iTunes, Google Play Store, and SoundCloud. So make sure you're looking for the Podheads Web Show. Show us some love. You're going to be able to get a lot more content doing it that way. But anyway, guys, make sure you get your pens and pads out. Get your thinking caps on, because it's time for another edition of Higher Learning.
Smaller than you, smaller than you. Can't just say I'm smaller than you. Smaller than you, smaller than you. Can't just say I'm smaller than you. Smaller than you, smaller than you. Can't just say I'm smaller than you. Smaller than you, smaller than you. Can't just say I'm smart.
That's right, folks. You heard it before. I'm smarter than you, at least I think so. So I challenge you to prove me wrong. Look for me at Podhead Frank on social media and teach me something. Tell me something that you think I really wouldn't know. It'd be awesome. Or tag me in a post. You know what I mean? At Podhead Frank. I'm always down to learn new things. If you want to hear something on Higher Learning, hashtag Higher Learning, make sure you let me know as well. Anyway, it's time for another edition of Higher Learning, and what I want to teach you guys is about Area 51. I mean, we're talking about it, right? People are getting ready to storm the gates in September.
Yeah.
So I want to give you guys some facts, or at least thought to be facts, about Area 51 that I found were interesting. Here we go. The first one, because we spoke about Bob Lazar, okay? And most of these facts come from various websites. These today are from Life Science and littlethings.com. Anyway, okay, you guys all heard about Bob Lazar. Well, it's a little known fact that he might be the one that started all the hoopla about aliens at Area 51, all right? Despite the whole balloon crash in 1947 making headlines, there was never really any talk about anything funky going on at Area 51 until the late 1980s. Bob Lazar told a Las Vegas television station that he worked at a mysterious site called S4, right? It's right near Area 51, and he was working to reverse engineer a crash flying saucers. Of course, this caused basically a huge stir and a whole culture of alien, UFO seekers, alien believers. Well, anyway, here's where people start mixing things up. According to the government, he had fabricated his employment, not only at the base, but his entire background. He claims to have graduated from MIT and Caltech, but actually there's no record of him going to either school. And he also claims that he worked at the Los Alamos National Laboratory, which also turned out to be false.
Well, it's not. it's not false. They tried to delete him. You have to watch the documentary.
I get you.
Just listen
Yeah.
to his story. The dude did. There's
This is
evidence
according
that
to
he went to this place.
What I'm saying here is this is according to public record. You know what I mean? So there's the fact. There's the higher learning fact,
Quote,
right?
unquote.
Now, yeah, exactly. Quote unquote. Watch the documentary, do the research yourself, and see what you think, right? Obviously, JBC Money, they believe the documentary. But who knows?
So yeah, to your point, real quick. I mean, it's ironic that Bob Lazar is has made $0 because Area 51 culture and business is a multi-million-dollar business. You're right. Because of him, there wouldn't have been the Area 51 phenomenon that there is. Merchandising, movies, songs, travel. You understand? Millions and millions of dollars thanks to him, and he hasn't seen a penny of that.
Who knows? I mean, these are one of those. This is why these things are so compelling, because we really don't know. Here's another thing. Everybody has heard of the conspiracy that we never landed on the moon, right? A lot of people believe there's a well-known conspiracy theory that the moon landing was filmed at Area 51 out in the desert using funky lighting and other equipment. Well, I found an interesting fact that makes me believe it wasn't fake. Did you guys know that the 6 Apollo missions brought back over 842 pounds of moon rocks?
Where?
They have moon material. We have physical material from the moon that has been tested and verified from numerous,
independent, sources to this. So, bam, losers.
Don't come on. I'm a big fan of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and all those guys.
There is an internet video of Buzz Aldrin socking a guy right in his grill because he was an anti-moon landing, and Buzz Aldrin feels a very certain way about all that. You can imagine. Clocks him right there in the face, bro. Look it up. Google it.
Yeah, Buzz Aldrin is a beast.
Don't say I didn't land in the moon, damn it.
Here's another fact that I found that I thought was interesting. Area 51 is not the only name that site has been known by. According to the CIA, the correct names for the facility are actually Homey Airport and Groom Lake, though the organization did refer to it on record at least in one document during the Vietnam War. The facility has also been known as Dreamland, Paradise Ranch, Home Base, and Watertown. The airspace around it is known as Restricted Area 4808 North. If you see any of those names floating around the internet, maybe there's some more clues as to what's going on.
I've heard of Groom Lake before. I've heard that term. I haven't heard of anything else. But Area 51 is the only one that sounds sketch. So,
of course.
Well, think about it. Maybe that's what the government wants you to think. I believe maybe nothing's going on at Area 51. Why, after all this time, if so many people think, why not just move everything and leave it up there?
I was going to say, imagine if the government wanted to say, okay, they want to play this game. Let's do this. Let's show them something. Let's show them a facility. Sure, but we're going to move everything underground or whatever. Like, that would be a crazy, sleight of hand by the government, which I think that would be hilarious.
We've been doing that
here you go.
for
Come on
ages.
in.
Yeah, ages. Here's a fact for you. I wanted to mention this in the beginning, and I forgot my high ass, but I wanted to give this to you, C Money. Cheese, okay? You talked about cheese in your Burns Your High. Did you know that the government bailed out the cheese, the dairy farming industry back in the 1940s because they were hurting and about to basically keel over, go bankrupt? The government bought tons and tons and tons of cheese from dairy farmers all over. And this actually began fueling the government cheese assistance program, right? To this day, the government has caves all around the United States that store a surplus of cheese that we can't seem to get rid of. Look it up, cheese
hilarious
caves.
to me. I don't know why. Cheese caves,
Yeah,
right.
government cheese caves.
So,
look it up.
I never knew anything like that, and that...
cheese. Thick, stinking cheese. Come out the bottom here for 3 days.
Yeah. So here's another one for you. Back to the whole Area 51 one. All right. The Air Force and the CIA didn't actually admit to the existence of that site, a restricted Area 51 site, until 2013. After a request was filed through the Freedom of Information Act in 2005, the agency finally acknowledged the base after 8 years of red tape was cleared.
Wow. That is crazy. So maybe not today, right? Maybe today Area 51 is just nothing. Now it's just a base where they make freaking tires. I don't freaking know. But before, back in Bob Lazar's time, some serious secret stuff is happening here.
Yeah.
Keep those secrets.
But it makes you wonder. They had all this kind of stuff 30, 40 years ago. Nowadays, who knows what they have or what they're telling us.
Yeah.
There you have it.
And the last fact, one that I thought was pretty interesting before we get out of here, guys, that even the president does not have access, does not have the clearance for the files or access to Area 51. Many presidents, including George Bush, even President Obama, and Bill Clinton, have tried to get information during their presidencies from the CIA about Area 51 and about alien technology, all to no avail, have come up with nothing. Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that is a little crazy. You would think that the president who has the most power can get at least something, but that again goes to show you there is something even so sensitive that even the president is not a need to know basis, right? He's only here for 4 years, 8 years max, so he don't need to know. She don't need to know. Aliens, dog.
Anyway, guys, that's a show. We got to get out of here. Shout out to the guys at WJHM 102 Jams. Make sure you're tuning into us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Hashtag We Wednesdays. Hashtag the Podheads Web Show. I'm your Commander-in-Chief, a.k.a. Jimmy Puffett, and it's always 420 somewhere, so make sure you put one in the air for us. We'll put one in the air for you. JB.
Yeah, at Podheads JB is my handle. I'm JB Perez. We're the Podheads Web Show. Make sure you hit us up. Definitely on that social media. Thank you for listening to us. We're here. We're going to keep going. We're going far. Let's keep it going. See money.
A good show as always. This was an interesting one, talking about aliens and stuff. We'll see. Maybe there's something out there. Maybe not. Always a good time, guys, in the cipher at Making C Money for all your food, cat, and cannabis needs. At the Podheads Web Show, your flagship podcast radio show for the cannabis movement. Always a good time,
Yes,
guys.
sir.